Week 1, God for Normal People. So glad you're here. Man, I've been looking forward to digging into this passage of scripture for a very, very long time. Just need to tell you, sorry about the red-tailed hawk sounds in the background if you can hear them. We got a mama teaching her babies to fly, and Meadow's out there chasing chickens and that sort of thing. So I have been wanting to dig into this passage of scripture for a long time because this is a mirror that helps. The book of Exodus is a mirror that you can hold up to yourself that will reveal to you the oppression that you're going through. The central theme of the book of Exodus, and you're going to have this introduced to you in week 1, is that God's people are going through oppression, some of which that they are aware of, and a lot of which they don't. And so what happens is this book exposes the gods, the oppression that they're going through. And you're going to dig into this story where Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph have left Israel because there's a famine. Joseph rose to power, and they resided in the outskirts of Egypt. And over time, after Joseph died, it says, a Pharaoh arose that didn't know Joseph. And so for 400 years, they're just incredibly oppressed. And so Pharaoh initiates a campaign to eliminate God's people by getting rid of the men, by killing the newborn males, and then finally, in a terrible act of genocide, he encourages all the people in Egypt to throw the children into the Nile. Now, why does this have anything to do with difficulty in a marriage that we just can't get through, or a pattern of behavior that we can't just jettison, an addiction? What is the overwhelming thing that you just can't change about yourself? This book is going to be the mirror that is going to highlight for you what actually is going on beneath the surface. So you're going to find that when you get to the end of chapter 1, they're throwing babies into the Nile River, right? And the reason they're doing that is they're in a sense dedicating them as an act of worship to the Egyptian god Hapi. And Hapi is the fertility god of the Egyptians. And by doing that, the God's people essentially are being subjected to idol worship. They are in this alien culture and they are powerless. So what we're going to find is this is the situation that we find in chapter 1. And then in the rest of the chapters that we're going to look at, it's going to be the solution. Hey man, there's going to be a rainstorm coming here soon. And so chapter 1 is the problem. The rest of the chapters that we're going to look at in Exodus, the solution. And so here are the things that I want you to notice as you're going into this. The first thing I want you to notice is I want you to notice that God's people were told in the beginning of Genesis to be fruitful and multiply, right? That's what they were told to do. That was a command that they were given. And what happened was the powers of darkness, being exemplified by Pharaoh, were keeping God's people from experiencing the joy and the blessing of fulfilling their mission. So my question to you that I want you to wrestle with today is, what is the mission? What do you feel that God is calling you to do as a human being, as a dad, as a mom, as an individual in society? What is the mission that you feel God has given you to do? And how is that being blocked in some way? And that basically is going to expose for you where you're being oppressed. When you feel most alive, when you are doing what God is calling you to do, what is it that God is calling you to do? And so the question then is, what is stopping you from doing that? Whatever is stopping you from doing that is oppression. And what we're going to find in this study is what stops us is not just internally bad habits or anything like that. We're going to find that what's stopping us is actually the system, the people, the gods, and the power of darkness that are aligning against you as a mom, as a dad, as someone that wants to just hit it out of the park with your career, that wants to bust this addiction and that sort of thing. So anyway, these are the things I want you to chew on. Have a fantastic study. And man, this thing is just going to pick up momentum all the way through until this amazing climax at the end. Love you guys. Take care. Have a great study.